Hello, 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 and welcome back to another YouTube and Facebook Live with yours truly, Frandara Prim. Yes, I see people are on already. I am so excited. This live is going to be great. I got my sister, Reverend Goddess Charmaine. We're looking like sisters, like blood sisters up in here. Hello, Jamila Asata from the Sacred Feminine Community. Hola. Welcome those who are coming in. Look, I am so excited. You guys, I haven't done a live in a while. So I'm back. And I'm back with Reverend Goddess Charmaine. So it's about to be great. As you are coming on, say hello. Let us know you are here. Gemini Supernova, hello, goddesses. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. Kirk Mitchell, God bless. God bless. Thank you all for coming on. So, Reverend Goddess Charmaine, thank you for being here. Thank you for being my guest, for me coming back, because I haven't been live in a while. As y'all know, I've been just traveling, doing stuff. Robin, hey, Robin. Yes, I'm excited for my first live with you all. And welcome. I'm so excited to have you on this live as I'm back. Okay, so real quick, let me go ahead and introduce the Reverend Goddess Charmaine. Hi. So, like I said, just really excited. And she's just an amazing soul. She is an ordained interfaith minister. She went to theology school in New York City. She's a trained Reiki Master, crystal Reiki Master, certified hypnotherapist, trained aromatherapist, and ooh la la, Tantric Energy Specialist. So she primarily focuses her energy work through shamanism. And she had did a training through the path of Sexual Shaman. And actually, I need to find out about that, because I've also worked with shamanism and tantra. And so that just sounds so good. And she has written 2 books, and she is in the process of working on her 3rd book. So check out, both of those books are available. She has written The Sensuous Mystic, Uniting Sex and Spirit, and The Goddess Scrolls. And then the other book is The Goddess Scrolls, Sacred Erotic Tales that Inspire and Enlighten. So I'm ready to get inspired. I'm ready to hear more from Reverend Goddess Charmaine. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Pranhara. I appreciate you breaking your fast and coming back with me. I appreciate that. Hi, everyone. Goddess blessings.
Yeah. So tell me, I've been following you on Instagram at Rev Goddess, and I just really love your energy. I'm always going on and I'm seeing you dancing, and you're so sensual. And I'm just like, oh, I love your energy. It really is this goddess energy, right? That you exhibit. And so I know you weren't born that way, right? Or you might have been born that way. I don't know. But tell me, how did you get into this? How did you become this Reverend Goddess Charmaine?
Yeah. I've had lots of readings done, so it's possible my readings say I have been goddess or priestess in past lives, all the way into just witch work and all this stuff. So it's in my bones, because when I was my most demonic self, goddess was still speaking to me, telling me, calling me to her, calling me to myself. So what led me is just, trials and tribulations of a young life, of a Black girl's life, struggling, not seeing yourself in the world, being lifted up, but knowing inside of me that I deserved a lot better than what my experiences were. And then over time, it was very clear to me in my 20s that the way I was living my life wasn't working. And that's one thing that's really important to me. And that's one thing I believe in when I discovered Tantra and I discovered, original blessing, that my life should be demonstrating itself in my life in a way that I'm living a life of divine birthright or prosperity on earth. So with all of that, one thing led to another. I got out of a fucked up relationship. I was against my own life. And then I moved myself into alternative healing, because regular religion, fundamentalism, straight life wasn't for me. I didn't know that it wasn't for me. I was just living the way I was told I was supposed to live, and to be right with God. But I felt always inside, like there were certain things that I was being told that my spirit said, that's not true. Wait a minute. And how can you be teaching that and then you're doing something else too? Because I do my best to live my truth, and to accept my choices. So with that, I ended up, one big thing was in my life, May 15th, 1990, when I was struggling in my marriage, was in an abusive marriage. I went to the Catholic priest for help, and he said, let's pray for your husband because of the issues that I was having in my life. And I realized that was the biggest problem. Like, who's going to pray for me? See, everything was always outside of me. Everything around me make everyone else better, but I didn't know how to take care of myself. And so that was a big shift for me, to start to pray for myself. And then going to the doctor at a young age and finding out that I didn't know how to breathe. He said, you're not breathing. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not breathing? I'm sitting right here in front of you. He's like, no, you're not breathing. I had aged my body in my 20s into early menopause because of the stress that was going on in my life. And I was holding on to anger. And I had to learn how to breathe. So that led me to learning how to meditate. Then I learned how to chant. All of this in dysfunction, yet Goddess kept saying, I'm the goddess of this land. I'm the goddess of this land. In my body, Goddess was speaking to me when I didn't even know what a goddess was. And eventually I got out of that relationship. I got out of that marriage. I did a burning ceremony. So I was always in ritual, didn't even know it.
Right.
And I led myself I got into a new relationship with a Zen Buddhist guy who was a nudist. And he took me for the first time to a nude beach. And then we were having sex. And I was like, shouldn't there be more happening with sex? I feel like my body is telling me there's more to it than just orgasm. And he said, I think I know what you're talking about. He handed me a book, The Art of Sexual Ecstasy by Margot Anand. And that changed everything for me. And from there, I ended up in New York City being a sexual healer, ended up in seminary, because my heart always opens up in healing. You see, sexual energy is in everything. It doesn't always look like your genitals. It doesn't always look like your pussy or your cock. But sexual energy is in everything because it's life, which is why I'm the sensuous mystic. You see, mysticism is being able to feel and see divine everywhere, in everything, in your food and the elements and other people and the other experiences. And that's what I wanted, was to be happy and to really embrace everything that I was doing, because I needed alignment with my choice and my decisions. So being able to go into Manhattan and become a sex surrogate actually led me more into my spiritual self, to the healer.
Yeah. So it's so interesting, because even just as you were talking about the sensuous mystic, right? It just made me think, like, so I'm actually doing a workshop in September, Sensual in September, 30 days to becoming your true sensual self. And it's about connecting to that sensuality, as you're talking, right? And just finding that your empowerment, being empowered through connecting to your sensuality. And I love so many things, right? Because I live in a Zen Buddhist temple right now. So I'm like, I love that you said you met this Zen Buddhist man and he took you to the nudist beach. I love nude beaches. And I just think that there's something so freeing about that, when you can get out and just be free. You can be yourself.
Yeah. You see, when I first went to the nude beach, I was scared, and I had my clothes on all day, even though I'm at a beach. I had my swimsuit on, but because everyone else was naked, I was scared to be naked, even though I wanted to go. And my boyfriend was very patient with me, waited all day for me to just chill out. And then finally, when less people were on the beach, I took off all my clothes and I got into that beach. And I tell you, Yamaya came over me when I stepped into the ocean. And once I got hit, I was like, oh, I'm seeing now. And every single time I disrobe, I'm seeing.
Yes.
I embrace myself more. I have gone through all kinds of things. And I've gone through some health concerns. I've gone through some weight issues. I've gone through several things, right? Every time I get naked, it doesn't matter what size I am or what's going on that day or how bad I feel. When I get naked, spirit is alive.
Wow.
I'm Goddess. See, that shows itself, and there's no way you're gonna take that away. You can't take
you can't take that away.
Yeah, you gotta
you
be
can't
yeah. And I eventually, through all those experiences, through studying Reiki, becoming a Reiki Master, going to seminary, hypnotherapy, psychic development, when I was ordained as an interfaith minister, for a while, I freaked out about my sexual healing work, because it's just really, this is new what we're doing. And so at the time, as I was Reverend Charmaine at that time, I just started my second Sunday services in 1998. I opened up my private practice in Manhattan. I stayed focused on weddings and baby blessings and card readings and interfaith services and Reiki sessions. And then, but sex kept coming up. People kept showing up with sexual issues that need to be dealt with. And I was like, why are so many people drawn to me around sex? And why is it, even in my regular life, I'm going out, why are men and women getting turned on by me? Am I doing something? Do I have a sex addiction? So I went to a straight therapist and I went to a spiritual counselor to help me figure out what was really going on with me. I read some books on women and sex addiction. I didn't fit that.
Right.
But I had some concerns around it because there's a lot of things that try to really tie a woman down around sex. But this Reverend Peter George's really helped me discover who I am as goddess. Did a lot of healing, yoni healing work with me. And then it was time. And in 2000, I was initiated as goddess by Reverend Peter George's and several people. We did a lot of research around that. And that's when it really hit me to unite sex and spirit. And I became Reverend Goddess Charmaine.
Yes.
And I'm going ever since.
Yeah, so beautiful. Like I'm just getting chills as I listen to your story. And it's so interesting because there's a lot of parallel, right? And I think the thing is, a lot of time for people just don't know what's going on and just with them in their body. So as we were talking, I was like, I thought at one point I had a sexual addiction, right? And I remember thinking, okay, something's wrong with me because I love sex and I could have sex, but there was another piece to it. Like I would have sex and I would feel empty afterwards, right? Because there was something missing. So like when you were saying there has to be more to sex, I was also thinking that same thing, right? And so, and it's interesting, when you went to the doctor and the doctor said, you need to breathe. You need to learn how to breathe. Anyone who's on here and they've been watching me, they've been following me, I talk about breath all the time, the importance of breath. And that's one of the important things, like with Tantra. When you learn Tantra, everybody comes to Tantra because they're like, oh, I want to be this sex goddess. I want to learn and be the best tantric sex, do tantric sex. But that's like 5% of Tantra.
Yes.
5%.
Yes.
And so Tantra is about teaching you how to breathe, teaching you that breath helps you to connect to your body. It helps you to become more present, more focused, more centered, to know what's happening around you. And when you have that breath, when you're breathing and you're centered, your intuition opens up. You know where to go. You know what to say. You know what to do. You're able to manifest more because you're open to receiving information from your guides, from your ancestors, and so those who've been following me and know, I've done tantric breathwork classes. I do a lot of sessions with tantric breathwork. I do rebirthing, which is a series of circular breathing, yoni breathing, ovarian breathing. All of those things we're connecting, we're using the power of breath. And so, when you're talking about this story, I'm like, when we were talking yesterday, I was like, this is what we're calling the show, the topic, the power of breath, because it's so important. And I just love your journey, how you went from needing to learn how to breathe to allowing this goddess to come out in you, allowing this whole other level where you're connected to the divine and you're going through that enlightenment process, right? Everybody's like, oh, I want to get enlightened, but what is that? And I think that, people have this idea of enlightenment being in this perfect state where nothing bad happens, but enlightenment, I feel like you're going through that process. You've probably reached stages of enlightenment. I feel like I have reached stages of enlightenment through this different work, but it's always still a process, right? We always still have work to do. And so that's the thing that could be frustrating at times. And I feel like the more we learn and the more we grow, the more we learn that there's more to learn. There's more growing. That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, what's really important is to be. So enlightenment and sex is just to be one with all life. See, consciousness is knowing that sexual energy actually begins once the orgasm is over.
Yes.
So consciousness is now extending out into the elements. And so enlightenment is recognizing the oneness that you are with all life, all elements, all beings, all nature beings, all animal life, all humans, and all dimensions in this now. And the way that we move through our challenges in our life, because we're in an earthly body, we have to be able to recognize the strongest part of our vehicle is our pussy and our cocks. And when I say you merge it with your heart, you merge it with your heart because you know the higher consciousness of your pussy and your cock for the true power that it is. Because that's why you have sex, and then you have an ejaculation, and you have a womb, and you have eggs, and you have a baby, and it takes 9 months to give birth to that baby. That's why the power of sex is after the orgasm and ejaculation. So we need to look at how we're using that energy in all areas of our life. And really lift up, like, what am I doing with my sexual energy after I have pleasure in the physical?
Yes.
The physical body is planted on earth for a reason. So your consciousness knows where you are on earth in this earthly realm so you can manifest. And so most of my life has been to be able to break free of the programming I've had from society, from dysfunctions and curses in the family gene pool, to break away 10 years, generations of killing of the women in my family, you know, the Black female slave after slavery, all the stuff that we've gone through, that stuff can just drive you crazy. But when you own it and acknowledge it and rise through it, you can use all of that.
Yes.
All of it, every single piece of it in this life for power in your body and right now. And then we can share that joy and bliss with others. You can go into an altered state of consciousness so your brainstem can open up into the universe, so then you can manifest, you can align. It's just, it sounds like a whole lot of stuff, but it really is lifestyle. You know, who's all these great people coming up here? Hi, y'all.
I know.
Everybody, Naked Church. I am a goddess. Thank you for acknowledging that. It's so true. My brain never turns off. Yeah, do it. You gotta learn how to circulate that energy. If your brain's never turning off, you gotta learn to keep your tongue at the roof of your mouth. All right. When I'm not talking, eating, or drinking, or sucking my husband's dick or tongue, my tongue is at the roof of my mouth. And I'm circulating that energy up to my crown chakra and hold, and then bring it right down back to my sex metal.
Yeah.
So,
and I like that you said it's a lifestyle, because that is so important for people to hear, right? This is a lifestyle, right? It's not just, okay, I'm going to go do this course, I'm going to go do this workshop, and I'm going to become a goddess. It's your day-to-day. What are you doing in your day-to-day, right? How are you becoming more conscious? You know, I make it a point every morning I'm going for a walk. I'm blessed that I live in Brazil and I'm near the beach, but at the same time, I used this energy, this orgasmic energy, to manifest what I want, right? So it's not that I just happen to be living by the beach in Brazil. I made that happen, right? And I allowed the universe to bring that through my work, through me being very conscious of where I wanted to live and how I wanted to live, right? And that's something that we all have. And that breath does that. Sex magic, you know, a lot of people call it sex magic, or like what Reverend Goddess Charmaine is talking about. What do we do after the orgasm? How do you channel that energy? Do you think about what you want to manifest? Do you channel that to healing? Because we can heal ourselves with many different things. You know, it's so interesting. I went on a retreat for New Year's Eve last year, at the height kind of like of this pandemic in Brazil. It was 45 of us on the retreat. And in the retreat, we're in a steam room, sauna, you know, and 35 people got COVID. And that whole time when I was there, I was doing a lot of shamanic work too. I was doing meditations with hot pay. I was doing breath work, all kinds of things. We did like 3-hand massage on each other. 35 people got COVID and I did it. Now, I'm not saying that this is like the cure for it, but I feel like I was very centered. I was very much doing a lot of things, working on my breath work. In that, I was kind of making sure I was envisioning myself being healthy and along other things. I'm taking sea moss daily, taking my vitamin D, vitamin C, all of these different things, and I didn't get it. So again, I'm not saying go out and do this and you're not going to get COVID. Still take care, you know, do your precautions. But I feel like for me, that was a big thing. Yeah. And so I definitely feel like there is a power to healing yourself, to being healthy when you're manifesting, when you're connecting to your sexual energy and you're channeling it for certain things that you want, you know. So let's say a quick hi again to those who are coming on. Hello, Reigning Woman. It's so good to see you. Hello, El Grand Chef. Everyone else I said hello to. If you're new here, if you're new on this channel, please subscribe. If you're liking this so far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're enjoying and you feel and you know you're getting some stuff out of this and you feel you're going to get some stuff out of this, share this. Go ahead and share that. Share this YouTube, to your family and friends on Facebook, on Instagram, so they can come on and watch this so that, you might help someone change their lives, because this is transformational stuff, and it is transformational stuff. So you can help someone. So share it. Kirk says, since COVID, isolated and alone. You know what? And thank you for saying that. I do want to talk to that. And that's the thing. During COVID, I know a lot of people that's isolated, that's alone. At the very beginning, if you even go back on my news feed on Facebook or whatever, at the very beginning of COVID in March, I started leading free breath daily trainings. So I had people coming on, joining me on Zoom, doing breath work. And I know that there was a lot of people isolated. There was a lot of people alone. Breathe, get out there and not get out. Like if you feel like you need to be alone, make sure you're connecting with other people through different avenues, whether it's Zoom, whether it's virtually. Make sure you're connecting, because I know a lot of people getting depressed. A lot of people, the anxiety levels are going up. Fear. So many people are just with fear and isolating themselves. And I know it's no way to live. And we are touch deprived right now. So, I definitely recommend doing some self massages, connecting with people as much as you can virtually, and connecting to your power of breath, because that can be really hard. So, Reverend Charmaine. So tell me a little bit more. Okay. So your power of breath led you to, starting to do more healing techniques.
Yeah. What was going on for me, which I want to say to everyone, because I know I'm Reverend Goddess, I'm the pussy in the sky goddess, and I got it going on, but it took almost 30 years to get here. It took almost 30 years, and it took every day. And one thing, I have a lot of rituals and things I say to myself, because I learned that as I was growing up, even though we're taught to get knowledge, we're not really taught about self-knowledge. We're just taught to talk about knowledge outside, from school and family or whatever, in church and society. But when I started on this path and I learned about affirmations and the thoughts and positive energy and positive thinking, I had a lot of negativity in me, a lot of negative thoughts that were looping around. You're black, you're ugly, you're dark skinned, all the things that would happen to me as I was bullied as a young girl, things that people said to me, things that happened in bad relationships. And one thing that was really amazing that I love about myself, but also was very shocking, was when I started working with affirmations to change my thoughts. Mm-hmm. You know how they say generally a person work 30 days on affirmation, you can change your thought.
Yes.
It didn't take me 30 days. Guess how long it took me?
How long?
Guess.
Oh man, I gotta guess. So was it quicker than 30 days?
I'm setting you up. I know
you set me up, because I'm like, are you gonna say, was it 30 years?
Okay, all right, good. It took me a year.
A year.
It took me a year to change one negative thought about myself. Mm-hmm. And when I recognized that, you know what I did? I took that year. I just worked on one negative thought. Everyone should never, ever, ever, ever give up on yourself.
Yes.
Ever. Your self-love is going to get you, if you do your discipline, that's self-love. If you do your rituals, you try things out, you see if it makes me feel better in the next 5 days or 10 days, maybe it takes a little bit longer, but never give up. If you learn to make love to yourself, learn to touch yourself, learn to talk to yourself, masturbate, and then before you have an orgasm, don't ejaculate. Don't have the orgasm. Move your hands up to your heart. Y'all seen me do this. I am love. I want sex. Unite sex and spirit through your own self-love practice. Then you'll start to notice when you hold back orgasm and then you let the energy move around in your body, and then you go back to touching, and then you release. There's a whole different strength in your orgasmic bubble, in your energy field. All these little things help us to consistently do the things in our lives on a regular basis that causes real shift and change and growth in our lives. And so even though you see me doing all the things that I do, You know how many times I get shut down? You know, YouTube just shut down my last account I have for 13 years. I had to start a new one, you know, because lots of reasons. But you see, I come back. Yes, the fivefold kiss. You know. That's what I'm talking about right there, the fivefold kiss. And so I don't stop. You know, I do discover I'll work with something for a while. If I notice it hasn't really shifted me in 2 months or 3 months, I'll probably drop it, because if it doesn't demonstrate itself, sometimes I'll work with something for 2 years or 3 years, and then it's done doing its work on me. I know to move on to something else. So I just want to say, you know, if I inspire you, I inspire you because there's something that's the same inside of you that's in me. We're like-minded. We have a frequency that's similar. But what I'm doing is different from what you're doing, and just use the inspiration to just turn it back in on yourself, so that we can continue to support each other and evolve. The spiritual law that every effort to change, every effort to rise changes. What is that? Every effort to rise raises another. I'm here for you, and I thank you for being here for me.
Yes.
Law. Okay, we're all in this together.
Yes. So, you know, y'all listen, you know, we still going, but I want to go ahead and show her information. Reverend Goddess, her website is thesensuousmystic.com. Her IG is at Rev Goddess, Twitter, Goddess Charmaine, at Sensuous Mystic, and YouTube is Reverend Goddess Charmaine. So look her up. This is some great information. And you know, and I'm so happy that you said it took you a year to work with those after that affirmation, that one affirmation, because it's so easy for people to give up. And you know, people look at me too. People are like, you exude sensual energy, you exude sexual energy, but it took work. It took work, you know, and so, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm still working on myself to this day. You know, like I said, I'm walking every day. I'm shaking every day. Yes. So I do this Osho meditation, Kundalini meditation, where I shake and I dance, and I'm literally doing it every day. Because what happens, you were talking earlier about the generational traumas, right? From us being abused, our ancestors being raped, you know, being abused. That stays in our cellular memory. Our bodies have cellular memory. And so through the shaking, and that's one of the things that I learned with Tantra, is that when you do that shaking, it releases those traumas that's things stored in our bodies. But when people think about traumas, they think about big things like abuse, like rape. But there's small things that happen on a day-to-day that's also traumatic. You know, you getting cut off, or someone saying you're stupid. You know, just a dumb little comment that somebody else makes could affect you on a major level. And so when I'm shaking every day, it's about releasing just those things that's adding up. You know, if you look at the animals in the wild, cats and dogs, they shake every day. They're constantly shaking. They're releasing those traumas that's in their bodies. And we have that ability too. I'm doing my meditations in the morning. I do hape. I might do it a little bit too much because I gotta do that every morning. So sometimes I gotta stop. I don't know if you are familiar with hape, Reverend Goddess. Are you, or? Okay. So the shamanism here in Brazil and in South America, they use way more plant medicines than shamanism in like the US, right? So hape is for those of you who don't know, it's made of tobacco, which is a sacred herb, as well as different herbs and plants. And so it's a mixture, but very little. It doesn't have any of the chemicals or anything of it. And you blow into your nose. And so what happens is it helps to decalcify the pineal gland, which becomes calcified over time, which decreases your ability, your intuition. So it decalcifies that, and it helps to bring you to this kind of balanced state. It's medicine. It's plant medicine. Yeah. So there's so many different ones. There's like one with herbs, with mugwort, with chamomile, with peppermint, like different ones. And so I'll do that. And then when I'm feeling like I'm really needing more to get grounded, I do it more often, like every day. And then other times I'll get to my period. I'm like, okay, no, I'm good. I don't need to do that. I'll just do like pranayama breathing, breath of fire, different things like that. Yeah. So I do try to change that around. But I try to have something consistently that I'm doing to help me to release the traumas, to continue to doing this work. Affirmations as well. People who come into my home will see in my mirror in my bathroom, I have all those little sticky notes. So I'm still reading my affirmations. But thank you for saying that again, because it's so important for people to hear that and to be patient, to don't just think, oh, I'm gonna do this for 21 days because 21 days breaks a habit.
What they say, yeah.
Yeah. And it does break a habit. Yeah, you're not 21 days, but sometimes it takes a little bit more to get to where you're going and get to what you need. So, so it's important. Don't give up, keep going, and use the different support systems that you have. Like both of us, we do, I'll have you talk about what you do real quick, and then we'll continue on in this conversation. But I do tantric therapy, coaching. I'm doing workshops. I have Sensual in September coming out. I have my tantric courses, my tantric breath work. I do retreats. I'm so excited. I have my retreat coming up this Friday with women coming to Brazil. I have my New Year's retreat coming up end of December. New year, new you. We're going to be working. We're going to be using this sexual energy. We're going to be using some plant medicine to really break down and change those patterns. It's going to be great. So, and you too. So, you have different support systems. So share what you do so people can know, like if they need to contact you, if they, need to work with you, what do you do?
Well, I do group workshops in person and online.
Mm-hmm.
I have this weekend, this Saturday, we're having our Holy Body Self-Love ritual. We're pretty sold out now. I do that with another goddess, Goddess B. And that's just really teaching people how to have a new relationship with masturbation, turning it to self-love, and how to create a ritual through that. So my work is the umbrella. Yeah, I'm the sensuous mystic. And in that, I am always supporting people and finding a way into their body to embody their life, to ritualize their life, to remove what no longer serves, and how to do that through counseling, through one-on-one counseling, work online, nude meditation, Holy Body Naked Church online, Holy Body Naked Church in person, naked drumming circles. I've written 2 books, and I am continuing to create new workshops that are fun and also empowering. I mean, there's just so many things I've done. I mean, chakra intensive, goddess initiations. I do sacred whore counseling. I work with the realms. I have a divine feminine realm. I journey people into the realm so they can learn how to awaken their abilities there. I now have the divine feminine realm journey for men, that they learn to tap into their anima, the female inside of them, to journey to the realm. I have new realms that I've discovered, the sacred serpent realm, so you can work with your kundalini, the masculine plane, so we learn how to manifest here on earth, the earthly realm, so we can come and be reborn through the core of the earth. I am an energetic shaman. And I went through the path, all 20 levels of sexual shamanism with Ray Stubbs. And it completely changed. And it just totally took my work to another whole level. Because, psychic development, as a young person and being a born again Christian and being filled with the Holy Spirit and shouting and all that, I ended up going out in spirit when I was 16 and came back, and I could see energy. I could see the aura. And so that was over 35 years. And then when I stepped into shamanism with Ray Stubbs, it transformed from just my eyes to my whole being, can now read the frequencies of other people. So I use all of that, like my hypnotherapy abilities. I'm eclectic, but I am trained and I'm solid. Yes. I'm filled with life in my pussy, because I always knew that there was nothing wrong with me. I just had to fight what people said about me and what they said our actions should be. I'm me, and I'm wild. I know that. But it is truth for me, and it heals me, and it brings me what I need. I have a fantastic sacred masculine in my life. We are building our life together. He's a wonderful person. So my life is good for me. My life is good for my husband. My life is good for me and my friends. But I am different. I am different. I'm not trying to teach anybody to be as if you would consider it wild the way I am, to be like me. What I'm doing is I'm living out loud, because I'm goddess. I'm meant to. And so I think that all the work that I do, people can come to me for various reasons. Various reasons people come. They come for sacred sex sessions. They come for counseling. They come for readings. They come for energy readings. They come in person for groups, various things. And all they have to do is go to my website or follow me on YouTube. They're going to find all the things that I'm doing consistently. And there's always going to be more, because there's always new ways to be skyclad, to be loved, And a lot of very transformational. Funny, she say men tapping into feminine. That's how I please my woman. I ask. She really why it gets her excited so I can imagine her and know what to do. Oh, that's interesting that you do that. That's pretty cool. I do live out loud. Thank you, Kirk. And I think I remember you emailing me, Kirk. And if you reach out to me for a session, I'm pretty sure I replied. And if I didn't, forgive me. But we could try that again.
But sometimes happen. Well, I feel like things happen when they're supposed to happen, all in divine timing. Right. And I have people that reach out, and then for whatever reason it doesn't work out, and then they reach out a month later or 2 months later, and then it works out. And then it was like when we look back, well, 2 months ago wasn't the timing, because all of this stuff was going on. So everything happens in divine timing when it's supposed to happen.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I love about my life here, because I've allowed myself to be open. Synchronicities happen all the time. I was telling my friend today, I got up this morning to go on my walk, and I was like, I got to get a photographer for my retreat to take pictures with the ladies, right? I need to get a photographer. And I'm walking on my walk, I'm walking, and I hear somebody say, Renee. I'm like, Renee. And I'm like, who is that? She's like, you don't remember me, do you? And I'm like, sorry. She was like, I was your photographer 2 years ago. I was taking pictures for you. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I literally just before I left the house said I need to get a photographer. And I didn't even think about calling you. She was like, yeah. And then so we exchanged numbers. Well, she gave me her Instagram. She was actually following me and I wasn't following her back. So she's like, yeah, message me on Instagram. She gave it to me and I was like, oh, sorry, I wasn't following you back. So that message her and we set it up. She gave me her prices. I'm like, okay, great. I got you. Coming on. You're going to be my photographer. So, so that's the thing, that when you allow yourself to live in this spiritual way and you're doing things, these things like that happen, right? And this is that feminine energy, receiving, allowing things to come to you. So all I did was have the thought, oh yes, I need to get get this photographer. And it happened, right? I saw her today. And that's just how the universe works. The universe works that way. The universe conspires to assist us. And it's not that you don't have to do anything. Yeah, you do have to do something, right? You're constantly doing your work. You're doing these affirmations. You're working on yourself. You're doing breath work. You're going to the next level. You're doing these healing sessions so that you're eating right. You're drinking lots of water. Because if all kinds of crap is coming into your body, then how are you going to be at your best to vibrate at a higher level so that these things can come to you?
You and I might have a deep conversation about that in private one day, because I got all kinds of stuff moving through me, and it's good even when you think it's bad.
Well, it's so funny because it's so funny. Today I was with my friend and we went out to eat. I'm like drinking my alcohol and eting my fried chicken and fried shrimp.
That's what I made today, was fried chicken.
Yes.
We're done, so I have my wine.
Balance.
I am Reverend Goddess, Mother Goddess, Ghetto Goddess. Always
yes.
I say to people a lot, though, Renee, that it's not always what goes into your body, it's what comes out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be surprised at the level of a frequency or a vibration from someone, or like that angelic energy from someone that you would judge. You can't judge a book by its cover. And I do recognize, there are particular rituals and patterns that I hold dear that transform my life all the time, that other people wouldn't do or think that that's wild or whatever. But so my husband thinks he's just always says, there's no one like you, Charmaine. There just isn't, and
there isn't.
There isn't, but when I make suggestions about things, when in our personal life, I say, well, do this for like ever. Do it forever. You mean there is no temporary up in this motherfucker. We got this is the goddess, we got the land. Right. But no, I look at the things that I like to do. I love to do what makes me feel good. And if it's something that, if you long-term use could cause harm, I'm like, well, how do I counteract that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it supplements? Is it exercise? Is it fasting? Is it
Yeah.
ritual? Is it breaking a curse? To break the power of addiction is a big deal in my life because a lot of people in my family have addictions. So
Mm-hmm.
it's generational addiction. So they just come on you hard. So I've had to look at the shadow in my family to be able to look at the shadow in myself and take responsibility for that, to transform that and use the strength and power of that to rise higher. And
Yes.
so there's a lot of things that we have to recognize that. Why am I doing this? What am I putting in my body? Is this choice or decision in alignment with who I am and who I want to be?
Yes.
So that's the righteous judgment. We're the only ones that should be judging ourselves based on our lifestyle. A lot of people wonder, why isn't this happening for me? Why am I doing that? I said, well, why are you doing that? Like, what is the reason?
Right.
Because I have a job, or because they told me to? Like, no, for real. Why are you? Everything that you're doing is your faith.
Mm-hmm.
Conversation that we're having is our faith.
Right.
Everything you touch, you change. Is it going to be for the better? I kiss my husband's lingam every morning. And the hardest thing about kissing his lingam, which is not hard anymore, but kissing his lingam when I was angry with him and when we weren't talking to each other, bad, and I still got to go kiss his lingam because that's my faith. And he still never say no to that because that's our faith.
Yes.
And to always live your faith, especially when things are hard. That's rise above, and you don't have as many hard days or times because you really apply your magic and your faith when things are most struggling, not when it's easy.
Yes. So true. So true. Yes. That's a word. That's a word right there. Yes. I'm coming to your church.
And when I do it online, you can come because you're right there. We got to make sure we know you're an hour ahead of me. So I make sure you know what time it is. Right?
Yes.
We talked about that yesterday. I'm only in my time zone. Everybody got to
right.
Because I don't know how to figure all that out.
Right. Well, I'm ready for new church. New church.
I started Naked Church back in 2008. And I had my second Sunday services, which was not naked, but I did that for 18 years until I moved up here to Woodstock and continued Naked Church, but it went from once a month to once a season. And then when COVID hit, everything went online for a very long time. So I was able to do Holy Body Naked Church online every month, and it was a blessing. And I did some free things as well, like you did. Nude meditation or nude nurturing, and so it's really powerful to give our gifts as well as to have more people show up. Hey Ben, holla. He's going to be here this Saturday too. Yes, he is a member of my Naked Church, and he's a member of everything. He's a member of my family at this point.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, that is so awesome. So yes, I want to hear more about holla. So guys, I'm so happy everybody's coming on. Listen, if anyone has any questions, this is a great time. If you have any questions about breath, about breathing, about Tantra, any questions about what we've been talking about so far, go ahead and ask. I do love this to be interactive. I love being able to, for us to answer any questions that you might have. If you're new and you're enjoying this, give it a thumbs up. Also hit subscribe so that you can know when I'm back on again, when we're having other guests. I'm here every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, generally speaking. Phil is our neighborhood scroll. So we're going to answer that, Phil. He a troll. But so now I see, I don't forgot what I was saying. Yeah, so I have these lives on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. To really just get rid of the stigma, the taboo about sexuality, about nakedness, about all of these things. So it's so important. So Phil says, why naked? Why naked church?
Well, for me, I'm a nudist, so that's why. There's nothing else to say. Yeah, and other people are too. Yeah, I do some things clothes on, our clothing optional, but naked is because I am sky clad. Phil may not have heard it earlier, but back in the day when I was recovering and healing, when I was in my 20s, I went to a new beach for the first time. And when I got into that water naked, I really felt the spirit of Yemaya drop all over me, and I felt seen. and like I had never been seen before, just simply by being naked in the ocean. And from that moment, every time I disrobe, that's the feeling. And so you don't, for someone like me, that's where I am. And so I am the naked goddess. I am the sky goddess. I am the sensuous mystic. And so I hold clothing optional or naked events. And people that want to be naked and celebrate that consciousness with me show up. We call it sky clad as well. So you naked with nature, you feel like you're radiating in oneness with all that. So I just wanted to extend that just a little bit more, Phil. That's yeah, really, for sure. Goddess blessings.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about your two things I want to know: the priestess initiation. But let's go back to Ray Stubbs. You said now this was the path of sexual shamanism.
Yeah, Ray Stubbs. Yeah, Kenneth Ray Stubbs was the one back in the day that had all the books on Kama Sutra cards, and he had all kinds of videos on tantric massage and everything. And then he started evolving more exclusively into energy work. And back maybe 10 years ago, he started the path of the sexual shaman. It was just like 1 or 2 levels. And by the time I got into it, it had the path of the sexual shaman is about energy. And he talks about energy and orgasm, but really what he's teaching you is guiding you into developing your energetic body and to vibrate like all living things. That's it. And when we vibrate like all life, then when we bring our orgasm into it, it expands and develops all of that. And so, yeah, so that's really that. And it took several years to complete all of the levels. And so once I reached level 20, several. It could take several. Like we started in 2013. So it took me 4 years to get to level 20. But some people, it takes them a bit longer, or some people might do it in 2 years, depending if they have the money and the time. And it's one of the most amazing things I've done in my life that have shifted me energetically. I always work with crystals. I work with yoni eggs. I have a lapis lazuli yoni egg in me now. And my pussy, woo, girl, if you only know. I had so much suffering and stuff going on in my first marriage. I went into a condition where it's called prolapse of the uterus. And at first, I had to have a partial hysterectomy. Then they thought I was going to have a full hysterectomy. And I learned how to heal my body on my own. I have no hysterectomy. I first started reading this book, Saving the Whole Woman. And then when I learned about yoni eggs, and then when I went into, and over the years, I was able to slow down the amount of drops I had in my uterus where I couldn't walk and I was in pain. And eventually, when I got into shamanism, healed it.
Really?
I haven't had it's in years.
Yeah. Because, and I talk about this because I do a lot of yoni breathing and, the whole yoni yoga. And I teach, intimate gymnastics. And I tell women, the importance of doing pelvic exercises, Kegel exercises, the yoni egg work, as well. But I loved it. So what do you think with the shamanic healing? How do you think that it just kind of took that to the next level?
See, as a rainbow body now, I'm at 20 levels, and my being has shifted into a rainbow body frequency, which is considered something like energetic enlightenment, where I see everything, I vibrate like everything. And so when people work with me, I am bringing them into my energetic field. And in that, their being, especially if we all do the same inward work, is more effective. And a person is able to then have access to all life energy through me, and then their being can start to vibrate like and work on whatever's going on in the physical body and the emotional body, spiritual body. And then that's how shamans are able to help others with a frequency that's vibrating higher or stronger than theirs. That's why I'm teaching people how to develop their energy bodies. I'm teaching people how to merge with all life. This is what the work is. And so I am a person that does plant medicine and microdose and things like that, but that is not the shaman work that I do. That's just part of my lifestyle. My husband is very, very powerful in the way that he connects with plants and things like that. And so but I call him a shaman in that way. He's a level 10 shaman through Ray's work as well. And so that's how that is. And it's a path, and it's a life path again. I mean, no one's spend that kind of money and time through this training and not apply it in your life. It's not going to happen. So it is absolutely amazing in that way. I then I know we're running out of time, so I wanted to just thank you, Gemini. I wanted to say to you, you also asked me about goddess initiations. And I was initiated in 2000. And since then, I have initiated others into their goddess. And I have also initiated men into their goddess.
Mm-hmm.
So men, my goddess initiation is only to initiate people into their goddess energy. Men as well can be initiated. I've only initiated one man, though, into his goddess. But many women come. It's a course. It's a series of sessions and then an in-person ceremony. The sessions are online, and then it's an in-person ceremony. And then people live out loud as their goddess. And even if a person is like considered a regular person, a school teacher or whatever, when they go through my goddess initiation process, they do have a witness. We need someone in our life to recognize the goddess in us. That's how things shift on earth. When someone sees you or two or more gathered, we have a ritual and we have a shift. So you bring a witness. Oh, hey, Goddess Charmaine. Yes, she was. Goddess Charmaine was initiated by me. I love her. Thank you for joining, baby. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And so, and when you have a witness, and then after your initiation, at least for 30 days, your witness has to call you goddess.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, because they go back to work, they're a nurse or they're a school teacher, they don't want to tell everyone to call them goddess. That's why I don't work in the street world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody called me one time back in the day in 2000 when I started saying goddess blessings to everyone and introduced myself as Reverend Goddess. I never forget this guy. It was in the Source of Life Center in Manhattan. He said to me, "Goddess, love you both, especially." Okay, I'm reading, and he said, "Goddess,
Yeah.
how can you call yourself a goddess?" And I was like, "Well, how can I not? You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have to take our power back, and then we have to live." It's
Yes.
when I saw Margot Anand touch her pussy and say the word pussy, I was in my 20s when I heard her. It shocked me. Now everybody knows I'm the pussy in the sky goddess, but back then it shocked me. I was like,
Right.
I wish I could do that. I wish I could take my pussy power back. And then she started like yelling for me and talking to me. And she did the work for me. Like, I never forget that. She sat me in that center with 80 people in the room, standing with her hands between her legs, yelling about the people that hurt me and cussing and going on way back in the day. She might not even remember me now, but she transformed my life. And then I got the nerve to do it. And the first time I stood up in front of people and put my hands between my legs and said, pussy, boom, turned to gold.
Yes.
They transform the word and transform the healing. It's just like honoring the lingam. Honoring the lingam. Kiss that lingam 3 times and say, I honor your lingam to your man. This is not about sex. It's about honoring the yang energy in that man, because that man is going out to provide, to serve, to protect. That's what we need to give them an energy to do by honoring the lingam. You know?
Yes.
So we could go
I love it. I love it. You know, and it's so interesting. Man, it's just so much. This time goes by so fast. Like, it's already been 53 minutes. Lord, it just goes. And I'm like, there's so much we could talk about, you know? And that's why we're doing this work, right? Like, you know, Robin says it's all new, doesn't know where to start, you know, and so many times people are like, okay, how do I get to be like you? How do I get to be like that? Well, first of all, you can't be like either one of us. You got to be you, and your goddess energy needs to come out, right? Or your king energy. We got a lot of men on here today. That's awesome. And so, you know, it's work. It's work. And for me to get to where I was, it was doing work every day. And, you know, very similar, you know, when I lived in a Tantra commune, that changed my life. And it's so funny because when I ended up going to the Tantra commune, my first weekend there, I didn't know what I was going on. They're like, oh, you know, we're doing this workshop, you know, happening in the hall, whatever, the room. I can't think what you call it now. The meditation room. I can't, because I'm thinking in Portuguese, right? I'm used to saying this word in Portuguese. And so they're like, we needed one more woman. Can you go in there, Renee? So I go in there and I'm like, okay. And everybody's naked. And I'm like, it's sitting in front of each other. And I was like, I'm gonna have to take off my clothes, because this was new to me. I'm like, I'm gonna get naked in front of like 100 people. I don't even know any of these people. And then I'm going to sit down in front of this guy I don't know. And we're cross-legged. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm here now. I said yes. So I took off my clothes. And it was hard. I was nervous. And then we're breathing. We're doing this meditation nobody's touching anyone, but we're doing the eye gazing, we're eye gazing, and we're doing this Kali breathing meditation where we're breathing and we're allowing the drool to kind of come down, and we're using that drool, that amrita, that sacred, fluid, and then they got to rub it on our stomach and on our heart. It was just, like, to me, it was like weird. Like, what is all of this? What is this I'm doing? But it was like everyone here is naked. Everyone is breathing. And I'm like, okay, nobody's like looking at each other. Nobody's acting weird or anything. And then it became this connection with this guy, this stranger. I don't even know his name. I don't remember his name today, right? But it was almost like, I don't know, it was something like there was this deep connection that I felt connected to him. I felt like I knew him. We both healed each other in that moment.
Yeah.
We both gave each other something that I can't even put into words. Like it's just, can't even put it into words. Yeah. And so from that moment on, I lived 2 years in this Tantric community where we're doing these meditations naked. We're shaking, we're massaging each other. My sexuality changed. And I feel like before it was something that it was just so, oh, that's gross, or it was more toxic sexuality that I had, right? In this pornographic world.
Mm-hmm.
But sexuality, our bodies became more sacred. Mm-hmm. When I was in this setting and we're naked and we're massaging each other with no end goal of having sex, massaging each other with the goal of connecting to this other person, having this person connect to their body, feel things in a different way. And I cried the first time I received the massage because I was only used to, I'd have sex and, I think I said earlier, I would feel empty afterwards. Maybe I said that. I don't know if I said that. I would have sex and that would feel empty. And the person is just, trying to break my back. But like to actually be touched.
Yeah.
To actually have my scalp massaged, mm-hmm. my nose, my lips, just to be there. Like it was a whole different experience that I had never experienced before. Yeah. And so people think, oh, she works with Tantra. She's having all kinds of sex. Yeah. I have way less sex now than I had before, but it's much better quality sex.
Yes.
It's more healing sex.
Yeah.
Conscious. And so it just changed. Now, does that mean I don't want to go out there and just have fun sometimes? But I'm conscious of it. Yeah. And so every day is a conscious decision. So when I do decide to do something, it's not unconscious for the wrong reasons because I was needing to feel loved.
Yeah. In escapism. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And El Gran, yes, it is like being high. We high off of the breath, high off of the connection. And when someone gets high, we get altered, and that's where the real power is. When we get altered, that's why sexual energy is so powerful for sex magic. When you get aroused and touched, and then you have an orgasm or breath work, and you get altered, you open up parts of your brain that help you to access all life energy. And so, yeah, it's like drugs, but it's natural. Because we all have the ability to make ourselves high. We get hypnotized when we watch TV for more than 8 minutes. We shift our consciousness. We get a bit high. So it's all things like that. You just have to learn how your body really works, how your brain really works to apply the things that we're talking about properly, so you have the real shifts and the growth that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel you, girl. That sounds like a beautiful experience. I had a few of those kind of experiences too.
Yeah. I know we could talk about our experiences for days. I know. So, this has been so great. Do you want to share anything? Again, anything that you have going on, just for the people who are just coming on that might have missed what you said earlier?
I would say just mostly go to my website, thesensuousmystic.com, and sign up to be on my email blast list. And then that way you'll know everything about me, and then you can, then you'll see my emails. Then you'll say, oh, or you can go and you can see my books on my website. You can go to Amazon and get my books, The Sensuous Mystic Uniting Sex and Spirit, and The Goddess Scrolls Sacred Erotic Tales. And those books are there. And I told you that I didn't realize you're going to tell people I started my third book. I just started it yesterday.
Oh, sorry. That just came out.
That's so good, because now you really keep me on purpose. And
right, now you have to bring it out, right? Because you're waiting for it.
Sometime next year or so, it might be ready to be, and then so yeah, that's the best. And then my email is reverendgoddess@gmail.com if anyone wants to write me. And then I'm all over the internet: YouTube, Twitter, IG, Facebook. I have a few Facebook pages and things like that. So that's the best way. And then we'll always be connected. I really appreciate you reaching out to me. I love what you're doing. I love seeing your posts. I really, really am so happy for everything that you're doing. I feel so blessed. There was something about you when you reached out to me. It was a strong yes. And I'm really happy I said yes and took the time to talk about this stuff with you.
Beautiful. Yes, me too. Me too. It's such an honor to have you on here. And when we end, stay on for just a few more minutes so I can talk to you a little bit more.
Sure.
So, everyone who's come on, thank you so much. I know you got a lot out of this. Share this. This was really great. Connect with me too. I'm on Instagram at @Prim_Tantra. Twitter and Facebook is Renee Adolphi. I have a Patreon where I'm doing tips and giving little things on Tantra and meditation. My website is www.prandawaprim.com. And I'm on Clubhouse, even though I haven't been on Clubhouse in a while. So Clubhouse Prandawa Tantra, but I haven't been on that in a while. So it's just a lot. If you're interested in doing any work with me as well, I got coming up in September, Sensual in September, 30 days to becoming that true sensual goddess that's in you, being empowered. It's going to be a day-to-day, like every day. I'm going to be giving you tips. We're going to be meeting virtually on Zoom. We're going to have sister circles. We're going to be sharing and talking. And I really just want people who are truly committed to this journey to connecting to their sensual selves, because it's work, right? It's work, and it's a day-to-day thing. And like Reverend Goddess said, it took her a year with just one affirmation. So it's loving yourself, making a promise to yourself to be dedicated to getting where you want to be. Okay. I'm in the stages right now planning my next retreat in December 2021 to January 2022, New Year, New You. We're going to be doing lots of great stuff. It's going to be here in Brazil, in Bahia. That's going to be amazing. So if you guys want to get out of the US and come to Brazil, you could go to my website as well. And on my website, you can also join my my newsletter, my list, and you'll get all of that information of what I'm doing, workshops. Hit us up, hit both of us up. There's lots of stuff I'm actually about to hit up Reverend Goddess Charmaine, because I want to get initiated by her. I'm ready to let my goddess come out even more. So thank you again. Thank you everyone for coming on. This was great. Blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Bye.
Bye.